Hello everyone, this is the third video of Buffer Overflow series. In this video I will be talking about how to do the spiking process and how to find the offset. In the last video I have described you how can you configure this Windows 7 host and the attacking box to do a buffer overflow attack. First go to a Windows 7 host which is the victim, and go to this one apps or wherever you have set up this one server and double click to run it, and now it is running. Now let's go to our attack box and quickly do a nmap scan on this Windows 7 host. First we need to have its IP address, so I'll go and check its IP address quickly, and its IP address is 192.168.0.101, and now I close it. And when you do a nmap scan you have to run it in root mode, so I'll go to super user mode first, and now I'll do the nmap scan. To do that, type nmap scan dash simple s capital S and then the IP address, which is 192.168.101.0.101. It will take some time and it will give you the information about ports, and you can see some ports are open, and the port we need is this ABS, this 9999 port. Now let's try to connect it with netcat. Type netcat 192.168.0.101, which is the IP address of the victim, and then the port number 9999. It says us welcome to vulnerable server, enter help for help, which means now it has connected to this Windows 7 host using that vulnerable app. Actually this app's not supposed to be vulnerable. This is something like a normal server, and as we doing the buffer overflow attack here, we have used a vulnerable server, and usually the case is we have to fix those vulnerabilities. However, now let's type help and see what will happen. You can see some commands are here. In the spiking process, what we do is we have to find the vulnerable part of this program. For example, let's say this stats command is vulnerable. If it is vulnerable, when we type that command and add some values to it, and then we send it to this Windows 7 host, at some point this server should stop working if it is vulnerable. Let's see what that means now. For example, let's first check this stats command. Let's just type it first. stats it says unknown command for some reason. Okay, now let's try this time. It's also say unknown command. Maybe these commands are not configured in this server. Let's try time. Also unknown command. srun unknown, trun, it is also unknown. So however, this app is giving out unknown command when we enter these commands. Let's add some values. For example, trun, then 1 2 3 4 5. It says trun complete. So that means we have to give some values with these commands. Now let's try this stats command again. ts. Let's give 3456. Stats value normal. So that means we are communicating successfully with this server. Now let's try to do this in another way. Another way means, let's close this for now. I'll open the code. You can do the same thing that we did earlier using this Python script. I'll add this Python script to Google Drive and add the link to the description. Using this Python script, we can send this TCP commands to this server. Now we are talking about buffer overflow attacks, which means we have to fill the buffer and then overflow it. So we have to give more and more data. This send TCP will first create a connection and then it will connect to that. Then it will send whatever we giving to here in this buffer. First it will take that buffer and encode it to Unicode. Then it will convert that to bytes array. Then it will send to the server. Whenever this bytes exceed the limit of the buffer, it will overflow if this program is not configured correctly. Instead of this trun, I'll add stat here. STATS. Okay, now I'll save it and let's run this and see what will happen. Open the terminal here, type python 3 .py and I'll press enter. Now it is sending data. Let's open this and you can see it is taking connections from our attack box, and let's wait a bit and see what will happen. This value means we have sent this amount of bytes. Here it is 1000, here it is 1200. Likewise it is increasing. If this is vulnerable with that command, this should break at some point. But it seems this is not vulnerable with that command which we use here, this stats command. So let's try another command. Press Ctrl C to stop this and go to here. I'll change this to trun. Actually the trun command and another command is vulnerable. I have found it earlier by testing one by one. In this spiking process we have to find exactly the part which is vulnerable. In this case it is trun. I minimize it and I run the script again, and now it is sending bytes again. And you can see now this one server.txt has stopped working, which means this server has crashed. Why it was crashed? Because it haven't configured its buffer correctly, which means it can be overflowed. Now let's close this, and I have told you to install this immunity debugger in the last video. Now let's try to attach that vulnerable server to this. Now using this immunity debugger we can see what is actually going on that one server. First run the one server again and minimize it And now run the immunity debugger, and then go to file, attach, and attach this vulnerable server. Now press this play button, and now the server is running, and we can see what is going on here. And I'll run that script again. Now you can see the values are changing here, which means some kind of bytes or some kind of data is received into this server, and at some point it will break. Okay, at around this 2100 bytes it is crashing, and you can see the information in hexadecimal format here, and the EIP value is this, which we are interested in. And now we know approximately this program breaks near this 2100 bytes. Now it's time to find it exactly. We need to find exactly where the buffer ending and EIP begins. After the buffer, this EIP is coming up next. If we found the location of this EIP correctly, we can take control of this EIP and send our own commands to that server. Basically, we can take the control of this machine. So now let's see how to find the offset, or otherwise the starting position of this EIP correctly. To do that, there is a tool called pattern create, which will create some random patterns to send this server and taking this EIP value from this immunity debugger, and then we can find the offset correctly using this command, which is this script, this Ruby script, and these options. We can create a pattern. If we talk about these options, this is -L, which is telling this program to approximately this program breaks at 2100 bytes, which we have found earlier. And now this program will create a pattern, and now we have to send this pattern to that server, so we can get back our EIP value and find the offset correctly. Copy this, and you have to edit this. So I have created separate Python file for that. This send pattern.py. I'll add these files to Google Drive and send you the link in description. I'll open it, and I'll change this pattern here. And everything seems fine. This host and the port is correct, so we can now send this pattern. I'll save it and go to the folder again and start the terminal. And before that, we have to restart the server and the immunity debugger. Double click this, minimize it, and open immunity debugger, file, attach it, and run it. Now let's send that pattern to this server. To do that, run the Python script, python 3 send pattern.py, and after it has crashed in a second. And now what we are interested in, this EIP value. We have to take this value. I'll copy it, copy selection to clipboard, and now we are going to need it to find the offset. Now again, there is a Metasploit script to find the offset, and here the and here the script is pattern offset.rb. Other things are the same folder, but instead of pattern create, this time it is pattern offset. That's because we are going to find the offset now. And here the options are a little bit different. -L 2100, which is the same one. In here we are going to give an idea to this program about which pattern it has used, and here is the EIP value which we obtained after sending that pattern this program created earlier. Now using this information we can find the offset. Exact match at offset 2002. Now what we are going to do is, now we're going to use this information and see what we can do with this. That information 2002 is exactly where the buffer ending and the EIP begins. Now let's try to send some values to EIP. I have created another Python script for that. I'll open it now, and here you can see we are sending the same trun command, and these characters, this slash, dot and double dot slash, these are needed when we sending this in Python script. In the normal way we don't need this, but when we are sending this with Python script we have to add this part. This part is also in the same previous two scripts, and we have to add that. And after that this to send, which means this a into 2002 times. In here we are filling that buffer with 2002 times a's, and now the buffer is filled, and after that we are sending 4 B characters. IP is correct, port is correct. Now let's restart this server. And again the immunity debugger, file attach, and now it is running. Now let's run this Python script and see what will happen. Again the program has crashed, and now we can see the EIP value is 42, 42, 42, 42. This 42 is actually the hexadecimal value of character capital B, and we have sent 4 B's. Why actually 4 B's? That's because the size of the EIP is 32 bits, which is 8 times 4, which means 4 characters. Because one character is 8 bits long, to fill the EIP we have to send 4 times of that characters.